It's Jackie Mumford, the Real Estate Maven, and today I'm out here at a property in Mableton, and we're going to be preparing for a home inspection that's going to be here in about 30 minutes. So I want to take you guys through so that you could take note of things that you want to watch out for when you're about to have a home inspection on your property. Little things can kind of get in the way of your selling success if you're not prepared. So I want to take you through real quick, point out a few things that you may find helpful when you have your house on the market. So right now we're out here in front of the property here. Beautiful property here in Mableton, Georgia. And so I'm gonna take you guys inside real quick. The reason why it's so important to prepare, a lot of people prepare their homes for like putting it on the market, putting it up for open house, but you know, they never really think about the inspector and what they're gonna look at. You have to not only impress the buyer, impress the buyer's agent, impress the appraiser, but you also have to impress the inspector. So one of the things that you first wanna do when you come into your house, and you want to look at it from a inspector's point of view. What are the things they're going to see? They're not going to care about the color of the walls. They're not going to care about the furniture. They're not going to care about the decor. They're there to look at the structure. So I'm going to take you guys through here real quick and let you see what inspectors will take a look at just real quickly. This is not going to be anything that's nearly in depth or as in depth as a home inspection, but I want to point out a few key things. So when you're in a house, you want to check for, and this is even helpful if you're just viewing houses, but you want to check all the ceilings to make sure that there isn't any leaks in the ceilings or any ceiling stains. If there are, you want to address the issue that's causing the ceiling issues. And then as we come into like the bathroom, you want to check to make sure, you know, all of the plumbing is working as it should, you know, flush toilets, run sinks, test for the temperature of the hot water, make sure that the water tank is delivering the hot water to, which this one is, delivering hot water to all of the faucets. You know, you flush your toilets, make sure, you know, your windows open and closed. We won't do that for this demonstration, but you guys will get the idea. You know, check the floors. Make sure you don't have a bunch of things that are creaking or spilled or torn if you have carpet. As we come in here to the office, you want to take note of things, you know, make sure all your light bulbs are in, because to an inspector, when you have burned out bulbs, it doesn't look like there's just burned out bulbs. It looks like there could possibly be an electrical issue. Inspectors are there to make mountains out of molehills. That's what their job is. They're paid to find things that are wrong. You want to test your fireplace, clean it out. If you, even if you haven't used it in a while, this one could probably use a little bit of a cleaning. But you want to clean out your fireplace ordinarily. Open and close the damper that's up inside the fireplace. Make sure that's working properly. And clean it and have it cleaned out. You know, check the plugs in the house. It doesn't hurt to get a plug tester to make sure that your GFCIs are tripping, which is a ground fault current interrupter. And you want to make sure that those are located in all the areas that have wet spots, like kitchen, bathrooms, laundry rooms, and possibly even the garage. You definitely want a GFCI on anything that you're going to plug outside. So this here is your duplex switch. One is for this light here, which you replace the bulb there. One is for the garbage disposal. We're not going to turn on, but because it's too loud for this video. But you want to check your ceilings. You want to check make sure your light bulbs are all working. Make sure your countertops and everything's clear. If you've got those squeaky doors, or if you've got cabinets that aren't closing quite right, you want to tighten those up. Like this one could probably be tightened up a little bit here. See how this one's come off right there? That could be tightened up right there. It just needs a couple of screws. But you want to tighten that up there. And anything that's going to convey, like the refrigerator, if the refrigerator is going to convey, you want to make sure that it's on and operating. It's a Samsung, it's a good brand. You want to make sure it's on and working. You want to make sure that the garage doors are opening and closing as they should. Your water heater is lit. Of course, you test that with running the water, making sure that it's getting adequate warm water or hot water throughout the structure. What's a code now is having an expansion tank. This is an expansion tank that you see over newly installed water heaters. They changed the codes back in the mid-2000s. The majority of homes do not have this tank on there, but it's now code to have that tank on property. So you want to make sure that if you're missing one, that you have a plumber, a licensed plumber, a certified handyman, go ahead and correct that. You check your garage, make sure those are open and closing as they should. These are pretty okay. Could probably use a little bit of WD-40. It's not something that an inspector is going to mandate that it gets lubed, but it's not a bad idea. The cleaner, the more together the house is, the better chances you are gonna pass your inspection without a lot of stuff coming up. You got your washer and dryer. Most inspectors do not test washer and dryers. If they are conveying with the property to the buyer, you wanna make sure they do work because it is considered something that should work when it's being transferred. You have your lighting there you wanna check. Not so worried about the pantry or anything. They may come in and check the ceilings there to make sure there's no leaks. And then I'm gonna take you guys upstairs real quick. Coming upstairs, you want to check to see if you've got it carpeted. These are laminate steps here, so these aren't really an issue, but you want to check the carpet. If you've got tears in it, they usually will notate that. You want to actually get that corrected before you even put the house on the market, but otherwise, you want to correct it. This here, ceiling fans, I left all the fans, all the lights on. Check your fans, make sure those are operating as they should. Again, check the water, make sure flush the toilets, make sure those are flushing properly. And then they often will check things like handrails. Want to make sure the handrails are nice and tight. They'll look at and make sure your ceiling fans and ceilings are all in good conditions. Again, lights are working, very important. I keep kind of dredging on the lights a little bit because it is super common for people not to replace their light bulbs. I don't know why, but it's super common for that. And then you also want to check, make sure your air is working properly. I have it at 68 degrees, so that's intentional, so that they know that it is working and cooling, because it is quite cool in here. They don't really test alarm systems. That's nothing that they usually test. And then you have your cubby holes. Whenever you have, in Cobb County, whenever you have a space that's more than so many square feet, you're supposed to give access to the cubby hole. This one's pretty empty. And then you got another one that's over there. And then we're gonna come into the master bathing suite. And in the master bathing suite, same thing. Make sure all your faucets are working adequately and that nothing's leaking. Making sure you have hot water coming through. One of the things that they will also check is underneath. They make sure there's no leaks underneath there. They'll run the shower, which we're not going to do, but they'll run the shower, they'll run the tub, flush the toilets, again, check the lights. They'll check smoke detectors. They'll even check the panel, the electrical panel that's in the garage or your basement or wherever it may be located in your house. To make sure that everything is working there. They'll test the HVAC system. They'll open up the panel of that, look inside there. They will walk around the property, which we're going to do a little bit. I'll take you into the rear yard. And let me know if you guys have any specific questions about the home inspection process, and if you're going through it right now, share your experience and how it's been for you guys, whether if you're a buyer or a seller. They'll come out here, they'll look at the patio, they make sure there isn't any broken patio tiles. They'll come out, sometimes they'll take note if there's any sinkholes in a yard or anything like that, any kind of depression. They'll ask if it's on a septic tank or if it's on a sewer. And this here is the back of the house. Most inspectors do not get on top of the roof, but they will sometimes take binoculars and take a look at the roof. They'll want to see cap there and see if there's any rust or anything that's needed there. This one has a little small fire pit. They generally don't look at this kind of stuff, but for those who do, they'll kind of look at how it's constructed. And then if you have a pool and there's a retention wall, they'll look at that. And if you have a pool or spa, sauna, something like that, usually they don't inspect those. They'll have someone that specializes in those kind of appliances come out and take a look. That would be the buyer's responsibility. And typically, if there's anything that the buyer is not happy with, they'll generally will ask the seller to address those. And so we got a little issue here with the fence. This wasn't here the other day. In this house, for instance, the negotiating, it's being sold as is. But if there's anything of concern, in most instances, the buyers will ask for certain repairs. Okay, I see they brought the wood. They just haven't put it up yet. So they got the wood here to replace that. So you got your AC units. You want to see how those are operating and looking. You want to make sure there's no trees or foliage that's in contact with the house, which this one it's not. And that's just a real abbreviated look at what inspectors will look at when it comes to taking tours of houses and making sure they're in good condition for the buyer, or good enough condition for the buyer. Each buyer is very different in what they find acceptable when it comes to purchasing property that they're looking at. So that is the quick tour. Now, if you've got some questions about inspections, especially in the Atlanta area, what's normal, what's not normal, what price you should be paying for the square footage that a house is, if you get yourself in a pickle or maybe just have a question, you can always contact me here on YouTube where you're watching us, or you can contact me on my website at therealestatemaven.net for basically any real estate questions here in the Atlanta area. I am licensed here in Georgia. If you happen to be in another state and you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, or just have a question about real estate in your state, I do have a lot of colleagues that are all over the country that can help answer just about any real estate question you can throw at them. So thanks again for watching. Hope this has been helpful. And if you are in the market to buy, sell, or invest here in the great Atlanta area, feel free to give me a call at 678-929-8330. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.